Well, 2024 is well and truly here, and Walt Disney World have introduced some pretty significant changes to how the parks operate, effectively reversing a lot of the unpopular decisions that were made during COVID times. Coming up in this episode, we'll be looking at the long-awaited return of all-day park hopping and the Disney dining plan and the banishment of those pesky park reservations. We'll be taking a look at what new attractions are set to open in 2024 and cover the attractions that are going down for rehab and refurbishment to help you plan the best time of year to take your trip. And also we'll be covering the construction work going on in the hotel resorts, which is bad news, I'm afraid, for anyone that wants to have their bot licked by a magic dragon. Hey, this is Stu out on Back Travel. If you like this video and you find it helpful, please drop it a like, as that really helps me out on YouTube, and do consider subscribing if you like theme park trip planning content. So it's 2024, and as of the 9th of January, Walt Disney World has officially introduced a whole raft of changes which affect the way their theme parks operate at the resorts in Orlando, Florida, which may affect your vacation if you're thinking of going this year. So coming up in this video, we're going to be covering, first up, the changes to visiting the parks, including the park pass reservation and park hopping restrictions being lifted. Next up, the infamous Disney dining plan is back, which will be great news for many. It's not quite the same as before, so we'll go over what you need to know for 2024. And finally, we'll go over the attraction and resort refurbishment, opening and closing schedule, so you can decide what's the best time of year to plan your trip, so you don't miss out on that attraction or experience you really want to see. So first up then, park entry changes, which is good news all round, especially for the flexibility back into your vacation. As of the 9th of January 2024, the park pass reservation system, which required guests to pre-book which park they were going to visit, has officially been dropped, but only for guests with a date-based ticket. This is good news, as 90% of all tickets are date-based, as you typically have to select which is the first date you'll be visiting or using your ticket when you're purchasing. So for example, us in Europe have accessed the old trusty 14-day magic ticket, and the good news is now that ticket doesn't need a reservation, as it's based on a date, as are most of the tickets you buy for Walt Disney World. For the select few that don't have a date-based ticket, such as annual pass holders and cast member tickets, there's now a mixed system of days which require reservations, which will be your super busy days like Saturdays in Magic Kingdom or Thanksgiving or Christmas, and also good to go days, which are just that, they're good to go, so they don't have to worry about a reservation on those days. As of the 9th of January, all-day park hopping returns too, woohoo, finally. So for the past 3 years, the park pass reservation system required guests to go to their reserved park first and wait until 2 PM before they are able to park hop. Now that restriction is gone, finally, so we now have the flexibility of being able to hop between all 4 theme parks at whatever time suits your schedule. 4-park coaster challenge, anyone? Even more exciting news, the Disney dining plan returns. This is a scheme which allows you to prepay for food during your Walt Disney World vacation, and it's only available if you're booking an official on-site Walt Disney World hotel with tickets. It also may be available to us overseas travellers if you're booking a flight and hotel package. However, you're still going to need tickets too. But for example, if you just book a flight and hotel with British Airways here in the UK, we can add on a dining plan, but you would still need tickets to get into the theme park, so you're going to need the ticket still. So what is a Disney dining plan? For each night of your stay, you get the following meal credits, which can be used any day of your trip. They're completely flexible, but you get a set amount allocated per night of your trip. There are currently 2 versions of the dining plan offered, the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan and the Disney Dining Plan. So the Disney Quick Service Dining Plan means per night of your stay you get 2 quick service meal credits, which come with 1 alcoholic, if you're over 21 of course, or non-alcoholic beverage with the meal. You also get 1 selected snack or drink per day, and you also get a resort refillable mug. Now this is a refillable mug which you can fill with cold and hot drinks inside the hotel resorts only. It doesn't work inside the theme parks. And as of 2024, it's not just the hotel you're staying in, you could go to other hotels and use their drinks machine as well. That restriction has been lifted. So the quick service dining plan is currently for adults aged 10 and up, $57.01 per night, and for kids aged 3 to 9 it's $23.83 per night. Now it is worth pointing out that the kids will have to order from the kids menu. The next level up is the Disney dining plan, the standard one. So per night of your trip you get 1 quick service meal credit and 1 table service meal credit and 1 snack credit and the resort refillable mug. For the 2 meals credits per day you also get a drink with that, so if you're over 21 you can enjoy a selected alcoholic beverage. The Disney dining plan is currently priced at $94.28 for adults aged 10 and up per night, and kids aged 3 to 9 $29.69 per night. Now if you are thinking of going for a Disney dining plan, you're going to have to do some further research and really crunch those numbers to what's going to work out best for you, as per night of your stay this can really obviously rack up to be quite a significant amount to spend on food. There are a few terms and conditions we need to kind of point out really. So first of all, tips and gratuities are not included for table service venues, so you're still going to have to tip your server, so there'll be money coming out of pocket for that. It's not an all-you-can-eat situation either. Some menu items may not be on the dining plan and some may require a supplementary charge. For example, if you wanted a fancy lobster or a steak, you might have to pay the extra to do that. Some table service restaurants may actually be 2 credits. For example, if you want to eat at Cinderella's Royal Table inside the Magic Kingdom castle, that will require 2 table service credits. And you still have to book a reservation for these restaurants. The dining plan doesn't get you in. As official resort guests, you would be able to book 60 days before your trip starts. Some restaurants may not be included on the dining plan as they're operated by third parties and not by Walt Disney themselves. Disney does include a list of included venues and items on the official website, so it really is worth crunching the numbers and seeing if it's going to work out for your trip. The dining plan is really more about prepaying for your meals rather than saving money, and that's the best way to think about it, which can obviously be quite helpful for a big one-off kind of holiday like a Walt Disney World vacation that does require a little bit of saving and budgeting. However, Disney does offer free dining packages from time to time, and if you can get this offer, it does usually work out a lot better than the paid version of the dining plan, especially as you're not having to number crunch before you munch. So what's coming and going through 2024? Let's take a look at the refurbishment and opening schedule. We have a couple of new openings in 2024, but the dates are still a little hazy at this point. So Tiana's Bayou Adventure Ride is expected to open at some point in 2024, no official date yet. And this is of course the reimagining of the Splash Mountain attraction into a Princess and the Frog attraction. In Epcot, Communicore Hall and Plaza will open in 2024, which is a special space used for the ever-changing Epcot festivals, which will be in the centre of the park. Over in Hollywood Studios, the Voyage of the Little Mermaid stage show will return in fall 2024. As Walt Disney World operates 365 days of the year, well, 366 in 2024, from time to time attractions may need to close for maintenance to keep them at their best, so it's worth checking the refurbishment calendar ahead of your visit to help plan your trip so you don't miss that must-do attraction for you. So some upcoming closures already scheduled for the year. So the Skyliner will close from January the 16th to January the 27th, with various lines closing at various stages. So if you're planning to stay at one of those Skyliner resorts, this could be a deal breaker if your trip falls during this period. Hollywood Studios' Big Leaping Thrill Ride, the Rock and Roller Coaster, will be closed from January the 8th through summer 2024. Over in Animal Kingdom, it's understandable that the water ride Carnival Rapids will close in January until mid-March 2024. In Magic Kingdom, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will close from January the 16th to the 24th, and the Country Bear Jamboree will close on January 20th until the summer of 2024 for a slight reimagining. We also have a couple of attractions on standby because Disney have announced that they'll be closing for refurbishments or reimaginings, but at this point in time we don't have confirmed or fixed dates yet. So it's tough to be a bug or become a Zootopia show in the Animal Kingdom, and over in Epcot, Test Track will be getting a greenwashing refresh thanks to its corporate sponsorship. As always, check that Walt Disney World website for the most up-to-date information. It's also worth noting that the water parks are still operating on a rotation, so at present Typhoon Lagoon is closed while Blizzard Beach is open, and we expect at some point in late spring, early summer that these will swap back over again. Obviously, if you're thinking of staying on site, it's worth to know which resorts are currently under construction or experiencing some refurbishments. So Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is currently undergoing extensive refurbishments, and there may be some construction noise and screened off areas during the daytime. Disney's Polynesian Village Resort is currently building a timeshare expansion inspired by La Polynesia's famous picture postcard multi-storey parking garage. What a charming addition to that once beautiful resort. And in January 2024 through April 2024, the feature pool at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort will be closed for routine maintenance. And over at Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter, the feature pool with that famous dragon slide will be closed for a refurbishment. Real shame if you were really looking forward to sliding out that dragon's mouth and having him lick your bum all the way down the slide. Disney are quite good at publishing this info ahead of time and already have a 2025 schedule of pool refurbishments available. So before you book that resort stay, it's definitely worth double checking if there are any planned refurbishments or closures. Of course, it's only January, we're barely into a new year, so there'll be plenty of other changes coming up through the year for Walt Disney World, as it is constantly evolving and updating. It's always worth checking the rehab schedule to see if any big ticket item will be down or out of action on your visit. And of course, these things are subject to change from time to time due to factors beyond Disney's control. The dropping of the need for a park pass reservation for most guests and being able to park up at any time of the day is a great step forward to being able to allow a lot more flexibility and spontaneity back into that Walt Disney World vacation. Disney Dining Plan returning is also a great boom for a lot of guests who like the convenience of being able to prepay in advance for their meals. But remember, do crunch the numbers, add up those sums and see if it's going to work out for yourself before you commit to it. What do you make of these changes for 2024 at Walt Disney World? Has it changed your mind on planning a vacation there? Are you more excited to go now these changes are in place? Let me know in the comments below. And remember guys, until next time, stay safe on the way out and back.